Hello the internet, my name's Laura. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing my top 5 houseplants of January. I know we've already gotten through this month, it's pretty crazy, and February came way too fast. I don't even know what happened really, but this top 5 houseplants is going to be a little interesting because there's a few plants on this list where they're not exactly looking their best, but I am happy with where they are compared to where they could be, I guess. I don't know, that sounds kind of weird, but that's kind of how it is. So stick with me, and I will show you the top 5 houseplants in my collection for this month. So we're starting with number 5, which is Rex Begonia, which is technically my $3 Begonia. As you can see, I've still even got the little tag on there because he's in his same pot as when I picked him up at the Lowe's. And the reason that this plant is on my top 5 plant list is a little bit of a story. We know that I love stories, so here's the story for this guy. You may have seen my possible fight with blight video that I posted a while ago. This is one of the plants that I thought had blight on it. And so what ended up happening was I filmed a video that I ended up not posting, where I took all of my plants that I thought had blight on them and basically chopped off all the foliage. And so this $3 Rex Begonia, I basically took off all of its leaves. I'm going to insert a little bit of footage on one of these sides. That is the footage that I would have had for that video that I ended up not posting, where I basically just take all of the leaves off of here. But since doing that, this guy has come back even stronger, and whatever was going on with the leaves, where they were kind of, I'm still actually not sure whether it was blight or not. It might have been some sort of bacteria or fungal infection that wasn't blight. It was just, but basically the leaves were kind of shriveling and dying. For a while I thought that it was a humidity problem, and so I had this right next to my humidifier, but that didn't seem to help. So after I treated it with the copper fungicide, I cut off all the leaves, and now that it's growing back in, all of these leaves are looking really good, and it's looking healthy, and everything's really small obviously, but because I had to cut it back, but it's doing great, and that's why it's on my top 5 for this month, because truthfully I thought I might lose it completely, and I obviously haven't. So it's doing pretty good, and I'm really kind of happy about that. So I'm looking forward to it growing, getting big again, filling out. And I mean, it's got all these little, just tiny little leaves. I mean, it's got these leaves, it's got all these tiny little leaves growing in here. So it's doing really well, and I'm super happy about that. So that is why that is top 5 for this month. Alright, so my next plant, my variegated elephant bush, it was actually in the same situation as the $3 Begonia. And basically, this plant, I think at one point I underwatered it, and so all the leaves started falling off, and then I think it got sick. I think it had some sort of a powder fungus on it, because it had powder fungus on here, so I also treated it with the fungicide, and I had to cut off a whole bunch of branches. It basically lost almost all of its leaves, and I was basically ready to just lose the plant completely. And somehow it started growing leaves again. I was looking at it, and when I was treating it, it had tiny little leaves like that little guy right there. And, as I was treating it and thinking that it was dying and all these other leaves were falling off, these tiny little leaves were popping in from everywhere, and now it's starting to look like it's actually healthy and like these leaves are not falling off. I know, it's a miracle, right? The leaves are not falling off when I touch them, but they're looking healthy and they're looking, I mean, they're even looking somewhat, I'm not sure if you can tell, but like this is, variegation has pink on it. Like where these are coming in, on the edges, they're definitely pink. Maybe that one is kind of easier to see. No, it's not. Okay, you'll have to take my word for it. There is pink, there is variegation, there is green. It's great. And again, this guy is on my top 5 because I thought I had killed it completely and I managed to save it from whatever was wrong with it. I don't know. Isn't that great when you don't even know what's wrong with your plant and then you manage to save it? Yes. So this guy, doing super well. He's growing back. We're taking care of him, and I'm looking forward to him getting nice and big again. So number 4 on my top 5. And now my third favorite plant, my Adenium, which some of you may have seen I just got in a plant mail. Be prepared for this. I knew that this was going to happen. Adeniums, a lot of times when they change location, they lose a lot of their leaves. Mine ended up losing all of its leaves, but I knew that this was going to happen. And if you can look right here, you can see that it is most definitely not completely dead because there is some growth. I haven't gotten any new growth anywhere else yet, but it is still winter. So I'm not sure whether I should be getting any new growth, but the plant itself is still healthy. It's chilling. I figure, you know, it's just doing its winter recovery thing, and at a certain point, it's going to start leafing again. It's going to start growing again, I guess is really what I should be saying. And so this guy is my top 3 because I'm just so excited about what he's going to be. And like this little green bit up here that gives me all of the hope in the world that this plant hasn't actually died, because even though I knew that the plant was going to lose like all of its leaves, or I was warned that it was going to lose its leaves, it's still like really, really distressing to see all the leaves like go yellow and shrivel up and die and fall off. Especially during this time when I've been having so much problems with plants like doing very poorly and getting root rot anyway. I have pulled this guy out to make sure that I haven't given it root rot, and it is doing still fine. So I've just kind of been leaving it. I figure if it's not growing, it really doesn't need that much water. And I've just been kind of testing to make sure that it doesn't feel like it's getting like super dried out or whatever. But anyway, my third favorite houseplant of January right now is this guy, and I'm so excited that he's going to start growing. I mean, it might be a couple of months, but I'm excited for knowing that this is going to grow at some point. So. And a lot of you will not be surprised at my second favorite houseplant for January, which is still my Begonia breakdance. I know that I have pulled this plant out like so many times for you guys for, you know, top 5 plants of whatever, or favorite plants or whatever. But I mean, like, I'm so in love with this plant. I know you guys know. And yet, I keep bringing it out because I just love looking at it. Like, these little curls and the colors and the petioles being all hairy, and just, there's nothing about this plant that I don't like. And I'm so glad that I have it in my collection, and I'm so glad that it's growing so well. It's been like basically growing really well for me. I think I underwatered it once and it went a little droopy, and then I watered it and it came right back. So, I mean, like, it's been growing really, really well for me. Is it? I think this is the leaf that was first growing when I first got it. It's starting to get pretty big at this point, and it's got so many other leaves in here that are growing in that, like, I'm just so happy with this plant. I'm so happy with this plant. Just admire it for a little bit. I know. I'm sorry if you guys don't like begonias or whatever. You're like going, all right, lady, like, get rid of it. No. Oh, I also did try to, I cut off one of the leaves and tried to propagate it because I would like to have more of this. Have some more and for trading. And they all ended up rotting. So I was going to try again with, because I put them in soil. I put the cuttings in soil and they rotted. So I think I'm going to try sphagnum moss yet, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. If you guys are interested in seeing that process, just go ahead and like leave a comment or whatever. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to do it. And then if it is successful, I will then share that with you because it's always more fun to share the stuff that's going well than some of the other stuff. But yeah, anyway, if you are interested in that, let me know and I can make up a video. I'm not really an expert on propagating, especially not with leaf cuttings, but I'm more than willing to give it a shot in order to get more of this. So, number 2, begonia break pants. Okay, so my number 1 plant is my Alocasia Regale shield, and he took some damage. If you can see, this was like I got him like this basically. A lot of the leaves had some damage on them, but I have since getting this plant gotten 2 new leaves, and it is this. Let's see if I can. This leaf and this leaf. Both of which are considerably smaller than the original leaves. These were actually pretty big. I had to cut some damaged bit off of there. But yeah, definitely smaller. And I figure that has to do with I don't really have high humidity down here. And, you know, whatever. But the leaves are still, they're still beautiful. They're still silky feeling and just most gorgeous color, and you know you can stare at the veining on. I can just stare at these leaves just all day, and they're just so beautiful. And so I don't really mind so much the fact that the leaves are smaller. I was actually kind of worried about it getting too big, and now I might not have that problem. But I am also getting, and I don't think I have it turned. I know, watch the hair. I have this guy in here, which I am almost positive. Let's see, can you even see? Let me see if I can get it closer. This thing? I'm pretty positive that is a flower. When I had these 2 leaves come out so close to each other, I thought one of them was a flower because, you know, usually with alocasia, like, the next leaf comes out of each petiole, like, the next leaf comes out of that. And this one actually had 2 in there, in this stem. Like, both of these leaves, I think, was it that one? Yeah, both of these leaves came out of this stem. And then this flower is coming out of this stem. And that stem is just kind of hanging out there. I don't think he's put out any. Yeah, no, he's just chilling. Oh, it looks like he might be getting ready to put a leaf out there. I don't know if you could see that, but like he's got the little bump there. So this one's putting out the flower. And then I think this guy is going to put out a new leaf. And I don't know what flowers do. They probably just flower. I can't imagine that you get like another leaf out of them. So that might be why this guy is getting ready to put out the new leaf, because that'll be the new leaf. But anyway, I'm rambling because I don't even know what's going on here. But I think it's really cool that apparently I'm taking care of this alocasia fine enough that it's put out 2 new leaves and it's flowering. Either that or it was just so well taken care of at the Home Depot. Yeah, I got this from Home Depot. So unlikely that it was taken care of so well at the Home Depot that it's now flowering. But I'm going to take credit for it. I'm taking care of this thing well enough that it is flowering. That's right. I will definitely be putting some pictures of that on my Instagram as it gets bigger and and obviously open. Alocasia flowers aren't super impressive, but the fact that it's flowering to me is exciting, so I'm going to be excited about it. And you guys can join in my enthusiasm, or you can just ignore those posts, whichever you want. But this guy is definitely my top plant for January, just because growing so much and flowering and everything. So put that guy back down because he is huge. Ugh. All right, fabulous. So I hope you guys enjoyed my top 5 plants of January. Let me know which one is your favorite. Do you like the fact that, you know, some of my favorites are the ones where I'm seeing the potential in them, or do you prefer the ones that are doing beautifully well? And, you know, I'm so glad that you decided to spend your time with me, and thank you so much for giving this video a like if you liked it, and subscribing to this channel if you haven't already, so that you can stick around. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.